Hello everyone, welcome back to Pwn TV. So I'm going to show you guys a Dragon Ball Super deck profile that I just put together. I was talking in one of my previous YouTube videos about a new Dragon Ball deck list that is different from what I have been playing the last couple of weeks, and I wanted to go with blue and green because I really liked the interaction that Babidi had with Lord Slug in the early game. In the current metagame, I think that that's really strong on turn 2. So I wanted to play a deck that was like turn 2 Lord Slug almost consistently. And this is what I came up with. Yeah. What I really like about it is I've never played this leader before, and this is like the best Goku from back in the day. This is the SS Starterku, so you had to get a starter deck in order to get this particular leader. It says in the bottom right corner, set 1 leader 1 starter pack, and that is basically because that is the OG starter Goku in the game. So he's nicknamed Starterku. Most people refer to him as Starterku, and Starterku has always been really, really good in blue decks. I've not really ever seen a bad Starterku deck, so I thought to myself, I'm looking for an effect that complements all these 1-drops that I want to play, and so what can I do? Well, Starterku was a really good first choice. I like this deck. I've playtested it already, and I've tweaked it already. This is actually version 2 or 3, and I really like this deck. This deck has a lot of potential. I was really going to put results of training in it, but I think I'm going to actually say no thanks to the results of training and take a slightly different approach, although this deck is really trying to get to turn 6. This deck wants to get to turn 6 and also doesn't want to use any objections. That's interesting, isn't it? It's not using any objections. It's also not taking advantage of other people using objection by running Dende in the main board. It doesn't do this. Side deck probably would be some Dendes, but this is just a very fair deck list, a very fair deck list that's just fairly going to get to the turn 6 and then just win. And just win on the turn 6. So, hey, let's get started. So basically, blue-green is the idea. On the turn 1, you're going to charge a blue, obviously, and you're going to play one of your 1-drops. So what you can do here is, if you have Agents of Destruction in your hand, you could play the Babidi really quick with the blue tapping out, and then you can also swing the leader. If it's not the very first turn of the game, you can swing. So you swing the leader, and this leader effect says when he attacks, you can actually stand up a blue energy. Well, you just happen to tap out your blue energy, so you're going to stand that back up. So then you're going to be able to actually play the other 1-drop. So essentially on turn 1, if you have a decent enough hand, you can play both of your 1-drops with this deck. That's SS3! That's SS3 Goku! What is this? So basically what this Awakening Talent Pan does is she slams down and she's like, hey, I'm gonna take a life when I swing. I'm going to take a life when I swing. That's going to get SSQ, Starter Q, all the way to 4 life eventually, which is where we want to be, and it's going to happen really quick. Okay, so Awakening Talent Pan is fantastic. The effect being able to play 2 1-drops in 1 turn, also fantastic. I really like that. I might even play 4 pans, but I don't think it's necessary. So 3 pans for right now. And 4 Babidis, because very important card. Very important card. Okay. So that is that. Now the turn 2. Very spicy, okay? Muy caliente. If you played the Babidi on turn 1, then on turn 2 it doesn't matter what you charge. You just play one of your 3-drop Agents of Destruction. It could be your critical one, or it could be your one that hand hates them by 1. The one that says drop a card from hand if you're the opponent. Like, the opponent drops a card. So one of these two things, either the opponent is going to take critical damage and lose a card to the drop area from the life, or the opponent is going to take hand critical damage and lose a card to the drop area from the hand. Either way, on turn 2, this is happening. This is happening on turn 2. And you're doing it with whatever color energy you want, because Babidi basically says, they're all colorless. It doesn't matter. So we don't care about double green. We're just going to tap our double blue or our blue green or our blue black, whatever it is, and we're just going to be able to play one of these Agents of Destruction. But wait, there's more. If you have 4 or less life, you can awaken on this leader, and when this leader awakens, his effect is when he swings, he untaps 2. He untaps 2 blue energy. Well, what can I do with 2 blue energy? energy. Well, I can play another one. I could play both of them in the same turn. It's not a problem. Turn 2, I'll play 2 3-drop 20k dudes for free. Well, I'm going to tap out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shit out all these 20k guys on turn 2. Deal with it. Like, this is happening. You also have Senzu Bean in the deck, so you can actually untap energy with Senzu Bean and play more of the 3-drops on turn 2. Turn 2 is pretty explosive if you still have the Babidi around from turn 1. But, you know, there's Gogeta's really kicking off right now, and there's a Vegeta in that list that they use that actually snipes barrier 1-drops, like almost specifically snipes barrier 1-drops. So Babidi's fucked against that Vegeta card. But other than that, Babidi's probably going to be on the board on turn 2, and your turn 2 is going to be explosive. Basically, any of these 3-drops, and then some Senzu Beans, and then maybe even a Scientist Fu follow through, because you got 7 on the Overwhelm. You're not playing a Shenron leader. This is not a Shenron deck. Guys, I'm actually not playing Shenron today, so this is not a Shenron deck, so you don't care about Dragon Balls being exiled. So fucking exile your drop. So Scientist Fu, easy peasy, get the 7 cards on the fucking drop zone, and then just Scientist Fu slide through and smash them in the face. 25k double strike for 1 energy. Wow, I can actually untap energy with my leader, with my Senzu Bean, and that's it, because I actually took out the Unyielding Spirit Trunks. I know, I should probably still play Unyielding Spirit Trunks, but I looked at it really long and hard, and I decided I didn't need it. I play tested without it, and I still didn't need it. When I did use it, it didn't do anything, so basically, meh. I don't think I'm going to be using it, but I will say that it does help me overwhelm the Scientist Fu. But they limited it to 1, so it's like, it's a crapshoot if I'm going to get it. And then if I'm on that line of play, I get 1 shot at that instead of 4 shots at that. So meh, I'm not sure about it. Anyway, so that's your turn 1 and turn 2. So you're playing most of your juice on turn 1 and turn 2. On turn 3, you can actually cheat this guy out, because he costs 1 less from Babidi, and he's also colorless, so 3 of any color that you choose, and you can play this guy. Easy peasy. Also, when you cast him from hand, at the end of that turn, you can untap an energy. So it's just the leader effect all over again. That's amazing. So basically, you could just untap all this energy, no problem. The Senzu Bean is ready for the defense every time, every single time in this deck. The Senzu Bean is ready. It's going to just get you there, okay? So that's basically your turn 3. Your turn 3 is going to just replace itself with another draw, and then also mill their deck by 3. Like, there's so many decks that I can think of that Janemba milling them by 3 multiple times per game really fucking hurts. Really fucking hurts. And so this is one of them. Hello! Watch out, Janemba. You're going to get in there and deck out the opponent every single time. It's an amazing card. I really like it, and it has critical, but you might notice there is no FD Champa you're at 2 in this deck. There's no FD Champa, so you don't have double strike at combo speed that you can give to Janemba. You could easily side deck it. In fact, it is in my side deck, but I did take it out of the main deck because I wanted to try without the double strike Champa, and so far, so good. I don't think I need the double strike Champa. I don't think that's my game plan. My game plan is going to be eventually getting in there with some really big dudes and a lot of them. So I don't care about the double strike necessarily. And I really don't have that many good juicy crit sources other than this Janemba. So, I mean, and then I guess arguably so the Android 13, but meh, I usually charge this for the green because I have green spells, so meh, I don't know how I feel about the FD Choppa. I think it's too much, but let me know in the comments if you think it's too much. Okay, so that is our turn 3, essentially. And that's basically going to get you to the mid to late game and allow you to just play more copies of this stuff. And then eventually, your board might get wiped at some point, and then on turn 6, you can use this Activate main on Arcane Absorption, Majin Buu. Why not? My friend told me to put this in, so I actually cut FD Champa out of the deck because I ran 1 FD Champa, and I put this in. And it was basically a hot swap for me. It's another 1 plus 10,000, just the same as FD Champa, but in this case, it doesn't give double strike. Instead, it basically says tap 6, win the game. Tap 6, proceed to win the game. Tap 6, target opponent enters scoop phase. Basically, if this Arcane Absorption resolves, they are fucked. They are so fucked if this Arcane Absorption resolves. I'm going to have 12 fucking Agents of Destruction in this deck. Most of them will be in the drop by turn 6. They're fucked. They're so fucked. It's just going to be too explosive. And we're playing a deck that is basically SS3. I can untap all of my energy after doing this. Not a problem. Look, here's 2 energy right here when I swing leader. So I tap 6, Arcane Absorption, Nuts play, combo out. I'm tapped out, swing lead, now I have 2 open. Okay, alright. Senzu Bean, Senzu Bean, Senzu Bean, Senzu Bean. Easily get 6 open, no problem. No Unyielding Spirit Trunks to untap 1. Not needed though, obviously. On defense, easy. Guys, Senzu Bean will be available every time because your Janemba untaps 1. Okay, end of turn. Janemba also untaps the 1, and then the Senzu Bean is just going to be available because the leader's going to untap if the Janemba didn't untap. Definitely. So that's going to be a lot of energy open. That's easily 3 energy. That's SS3. This is basically an SS3 deck all over again. And then the Senzu Beans to actually keep yourself defended on the next turn if for whatever reason, like let's say they Crusher Ball you or Flying Nimbus you, or they have such a really good hand that they get over your tap out for Arcane Absorption play. No big deal. No big deal. Not a big deal. Maybe they even Mafuba it. You don't even care because your turn 7 is going to be there because you have the Senzu Beans and all of this untapped energy and all of these 10k draw 1s that you have available in the deck is just going to get you so many cards. On your turn, you're playing At All Costs Vegeta. That's going to get you some cards. Lots of cards. This deck is getting a lot of cards, and it's going to just have the energy open to do it. And if you're going to get in there, and I have 1 energy open and only 1 energy open, I could Whisk Coercion. Easy. Got him! Oh, I need green open? Okay, untap a green instead of a blue with the Whisk Coercion, because I get to choose which energy I put into active mode. So maybe I tap a blue and then untap a green. Oh, hey, look! Full power energy's online. Like, I mean, I can just whatever I want to do. Like, it doesn't even matter. I do charge Whisk Coercion a lot in this deck, but it's a really good defensive card, as per usual, I suppose. And then also, in addition to that, you get 4 copies of Dimension Magic now. So it's basically like, oh, well, I'm not at 4. Oh, I'm at 5. Oh, he's got the double strike or the triple strike play to really blow me out while I'm at 5 and not awakened. Oh, Dimension Magic. Negated. I'll go to 4. Thanks for awakening me, bro. By the way, this leader does draw 2 when he awakens. He doesn't untap energy. He doesn't need to. He draws more cards. He draws more cards. If you have no cards in your hand and you get to your awaken turn, you are ending that turn with either game or a lot of cards in hand. That's just basically what's going to happen. You're drawing 2 off this guy. You're drawing another one when he swings while he's awakened. Right? Easy. You're drawing 2 more cards with the Scientist Fu. You're drawing more cards with your 10k combos and your super combos. Like, you're getting life cards with your Awakening Talent Pan. You're actually, what else are you doing? You're getting life cards with your At All Cost Vegeta. Let's take a minute to actually talk about At All Cost Vegeta and why I have 4 copies in this deck and why I never charge this card. At All Cost Vegeta wins games. Wins games. And in this deck, it's so easy to untap enough energy to play multiple Vegetas in one turn. If you're at like 5 or 6 because you actually had all the 10k pumps and you just kept up on life, if you're at like 5 or 6 life left, then you have turn 5 available with 5 or 6 life left. You can basically say, At All Cost Vegeta, tap 4 of my 5 energy. Okay, done. Draw a card, untap an energy. So now I have 3 tapped energy, 2 untapped energy, and an extra card that replaced At All Cost Vegeta in my hand. So my hand size is still the same, but I have body in play, a 20k body in play. Okay, great. Great, that's fantastic. That alone is good. If I'm at 1 life and that's all I can do, I can still win with that. It's good. It's definitely a good play either way. But the activate main on this card is absolutely insane. If you actually took care of your life in the early game, then when you get to the mid to late game, you use this activate main, you kill whatever you want. Of course, it does not ignore barrier. I think it should, but that would probably be way too busted. So it doesn't ignore barrier, but you snipe whatever that doesn't have barrier, and then you also get a power boost and a triple strike for the duration of the turn. That means you swing for 3 life damage instead of 1 life damage. So when I turn this guy sideways at the leader, I'm swinging for potentially 3 life damage. If they're at 3, they could lose the game. Okay? That's what at all costs Vegeta can do on turn 5. Easily. It's going to snipe the board, snipe whatever threat is in play, clear the board, and then untap some energy, give you more cards, and then allow you to awaken yourself, thus giving you more cards, and then awaken ability gives you more cards, and then after that, Scientist Fu still gives you more cards. So eventually, you're just going to have a handful of cards, and at all costs Vegeta number 2 is probably somewhere in that hand. And so you can play him too. Why not? What did I say you had available? You had 2 open because one was untapped from this and one was never tapped to begin with. So you had 2 energy. What can I do with 2 energy? Why don't I just swing the leader and untap 2 more right away? Oh, I don't even have to neg my hand to do this? I just don't even have to play Senzu Bean? I could just untap 2 energy whenever I feel like it? Okay, alright, fantastic. So not only did I have a fuck ton of card draw, but I'm putting myself back to 4 active mode energies. Well, that's interesting. At all costs Vegeta is a 4-drop. Hi guys! I'm gonna play another one. I'm gonna untap another energy, so I'll have 1 standing and 4 tapped, and then I'm gonna draw another card and replace this card with a new card. Okay, great. Fantastic. What am I gonna do now? Well, kill something else, and maybe grab some more life cards. Oh look, more combo card potential. Okay, fantastic. Okay, now I'm at like probably 2 life at this point. I could probably still win the game, right? Right. So I'm going to swing the triple strike and then the triple strike, okay? And if I need to go again and I have the 2 life available, I could play at all costs Vegeta number 3 and maybe have an insane play. But honestly, I think 2 is enough, and I think 2 is always going to win. Basically, I don't think I'm going to need the 3rd at all costs Vegeta activate main activation in order to win with this deck. I think 1 to 2 activate main activations will be plenty, but again, I did win with 0 activate main activations, if that makes any sense. Basically, I was at 1 and I was not able to activate this card, but I was still able to win with it because it's so strong, okay? And the rest of the deck is so strong. Okay, so that's what you can do with this deck. And so let's say that you did use Vegeta and you got to 2 life left. Well, it gets even better because not only do you have 2 life left, meaning you can play a Dimension Magic and not lose the game, but you really don't even need to because your energy is usually open. By the end of turn, Janemba stands up 1, leader untaps 1, etc., Senzu Bean, etc. So Dimension Magic doesn't ever really need to take a life, honestly. You're just going to have the energy available, and you have Whis Coercion anyway, so probably just using that anyway. Dimension Magic is kind of meh. I think in this deck it's really just to awaken you, but after that it's just like, meh, probably charge. Okay, but what else can you do with that last 2 life? Well, don't forget, you still have 3 copies of Awakening Talent Pen in the deck. You probably still have 1 in your hand. You can play this card, and if you ran the FD Champa, you could have given it a double strike, and I did do that, and I was nuts. But if you have 2 life left, and you just didn't get there, not quite got there, you can swing this for 15. You can neg their hand by 1 by forcing getting a life, going to 1, and then forcing them to combo whatever they have in their hand to not lose the game. And then on their turn, they have no cards. Looks like it's an easy turn because you're going to sit back with Whis Coercion and another Whis Coercion and full power. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be at 1, but you're not going to care. Like, no, they're not. You're going to have so many cards in hand, and they're going to have nothing. Nothing! And when you finally get to that mythical turn 6, that is when you just don't lose anymore at this point. You really don't. They don't have a hand. You've already killed their hand. This deck is killing their hand since turn 2, right? So that's what it's doing, okay? On turn 6, they're fucked. They're fucked because all of these Agents of Destruction in the drop area, assuming I did not overwhelm all of them away, they're coming back. They're coming back with Arcane Absorption. It's just going to happen. They're just going to be there, and you're just going to deal with that. So yeah, sometimes Scientist Fu can eat the ones that you need for the Arcane Absorption, but Arcane Absorption is just an extra win con. It's like, oh, I'm at turn 6. I could play another Scientist Fu and probably still win the game with Scientist Fu. But by then, I could probably also just as easily deck out with Scientist Fu and lose the game with Scientist Fu. Whereas Arcane Absorption is just like, hey, I'm just here. I'm just here, guys. And we're just gonna untap a bunch of energy and be able to defend ourselves after we're here. But you're probably not gonna be here, so it's not gonna matter. I'm just gonna swing Triple Strike. Again, just like I did last turn several times with the at all cost Vegetas. It's just a nuts deck. This is a nuts deck. I don't think I've been beaten yet in playtesting. I'd like to see what this deck is weak to, but the only reason I built it in the first place was because I wanted a strong answer to the metagame right now that was not what I have been playing, first off. Secondly, I also wanted to have a deck that I feel is a really strong answer to Broly, because Broly is really strong right now. I've been getting my ass kicked by so many different Broly decks. It's just that combo going from Broly to Broly to Broly and always having cards in hand, you need to keep up with that in order to actually beat that kind of a deck. This deck can do just that, so I would argue it's a very fair matchup against Broly, and I might even have the upper hand since I have hand destruction cards and Broly doesn't. In that particular Broly list, the metagame Broly lists, they don't run any hand destruction cards, so they don't have that ability. They also don't have Dragon Balls because they're a Broly leader, so they don't have any 1-stars to neg me anything. So I'm not losing cards, just not losing cards. So it's fantastic. Yeah, and this deck has just got an answer to, I think, just about anything in the game, honestly. I really don't think I'm missing anything. Having looked at it several times, I might tweak the list a little bit. I might even cut out Arcane Absorption completely because I don't know how I like the synergy between Fu and Boo, but they're both really good win cons. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about that. Hopefully you guys thought that this deck profile was pretty interesting. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video now. Thank you so much for watching it to the end. Let me know in the comments what you think about my blue-green Starterku deck. And I guess I'll see you guys in set 7 with yet another Starterku list. Why not? Let's give you guys another Starterku list on the next set 7 release. Set 7 comes out, I'm going to make this leader even better. But I think in set 6, this is what this leader should be playing. It looks quite strong. I do like it. Much approve. Thanks again. See you later. Peace out.